It's aimed at registering your guns. And when another tragic opportunity presents itself, that registry will be used to confiscate your guns.
Donna Brazile, it does seem as if this whole effort has slowed down.
No, it hasn't. It's going on. Joe Biden is the public face of it. He's out there meeting, and he was in Newtown last week. He's traveling all across the country, meeting with law enforcement officials. Patrick Leahy will be putting together some proposals, a Senate Judiciary Chairman, to try to advance this at the end of the month. Gun safety laws are still topic A across the country, from Tucson to in Colorado and Maryland. State lawmakers are taking the initiative, and I think Mr. Wayne LaPierre is on the wrong side of history.
No, it has slowed down, but the reason it has slowed down is because the president's own party is divided on this issue. And so when you look in the Senate, there is a lot of disagreement among Democrats themselves over most of the president's agenda, in particular the ban on semi-automatics, known as assault weapons ban, things like magazine restrictions. And so there's going to be a lot of fights, but it's going to be between Democrats, and that has put them in an unusual spot. And we're leaving.
Only the 6 Democrats who are running for re-election, and we keep focusing on those 6.
It's not about
number. The Democrats support the Second Amendment, right? It's those Democrats. It's about assault weapons, rifles, and these military-style weapons. And should we get them off the streets? And many Americans believe we should.
Get them off the streets, precisely. The president went to Chicago this week. Chicago has more gun homicides in New York, although New York has 3 times the population. What's the difference? The difference is different police measures. And New York, with a lot of controversies, has stop and frisk, and it's had a measurable effect on gun violence. It's not sexy, it's not a federal program, it's at the local level, and it works.
It did appear, though, that there was going to be a consensus on background checks. Even that, though, now appears to be fraying just a bit.
Yeah, I think the polls show 93% of Americans are in favor of background checks, and so you see Wayne LaPierre and you wonder about it. But I think the problem here is that what history would tell us is time is not your friend on something like this. If you go back to 1968, when Lyndon Johnson was trying to pass gun control, he'd been trying to pass it since President Kennedy's assassination. After RFK and Martin Luther King, it seemed like a no-brainer it was going to get passed, and then it just slowly got in the mud, and we got a very watered down bill.
Okay, we're going to take one more quick break. Don't go anywhere. More Roundtable coming right up. Our picks for tonight's Oscars.
Rat line through the mountain.